Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, to the Game Day Live halftime show where the Cowboys trail the 49ers 21-7 at the half. Had a chance there to get a double dip with points, and they couldn't get anything going. So we'll see if the Cowboys can come out with some points on the board. But right now, it is pretty much the Niners controlling the game. It doesn't look like much has changed from the last few years. 49ers come out, they're up 212 total yards to 93 for the Cowboys. Each have 7 drives. And I just can't come away. I'm writing the notes down here. Those damn 49er linebackers, man, are an absolute terror. But Jesse Holley, Skywalker still. Let's kind of discuss this first half, Jesse.
Yeah, I said earlier in the week, I said if Usain Bolt was born to run, if Steph Curry was born to shoot threes,
these boys were born to ball.
Tiger Woods was born to play golf. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, they were born to play linebacker, and they're doing that at an exceptional level. It just feels again, and we talked about this over and over and over and over again about the physicality of a football game, being able to come out and to establish your dominance early in the football game. One, I didn't like the decision for the Cowboys to win the toss and defer to the second half. Right, I just think you allow the team who historically has dominated, I should say dominated you, but historically has been the aggressor in the football game. I thought winning the toss, you would want to take the ball, come out, establish some dominance, even try to go up and make them have to play from behind. They didn't do that. Literally, the Niners walked the Cowboys down the football field in that first drive and really kind of set the tone of, that's right, we still big bro, y'all still little bro, and we're going to show you why. And, in a half of football, that one drive that they did have with the Kevontae Turpin touchdown, outside of that, the Cowboys really have been on their heels the entire time, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and they've had their shots. Another thing I have here in my notes, 5 penalties, and 3 of them resulted in first downs, 2 of them on third down stops from the defense. And we're talking about game is 14-7 or game is 7-0, and those first downs lead to touchdowns because you got to stop on third down. You look like I think I text you. This looks like an undisciplined team right now for the Cowboys. Ball security, one of them as well. Penalties, another. And then offensively, you just can't get in a rhythm. Besides that scoring drive where they did get in some form of a rhythm, it kind of more felt like to me though they were just making plays. 7 rush attempts to the 49ers, I believe 20 or so. They are in a rhythm, obviously, because they've been on the field for a long time. You can't get in a rhythm, so now you're playing into their hands, in my opinion, by being down like this. So it's going to be important for the Cowboys to go out there. Another thing I said on offense, I don't see much pre-snap motion, and I'm not seeing any screens right now. And when you got a defense that's playing the balls at their feet, right? Like they're playing forward. You need to do some pre-snap things to get that aggression and take advantage of that aggression. We're kind of just dropping back and just saying, hey, man, guys, get open downfield. And, I mean, obviously we can't see, but it doesn't seem like guys are getting open, and we're just praying that we don't get a sack fumble from a Nick Bosa or something like that, which they're getting some pressure from time to time here.
Yeah, this offense, if I'm going to be a defender of Freaky Mike, I'm also going to be an accuser of Freaky Mike. I'm going to be critical of him. And this offense just ain't getting it right now. For whatever reason, it's just not getting, like you said before, 21 rushing yards, 72 passing yards, 93 total yards in first half of football. I mean, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And when you play teams like this, when you play the good teams, you have to be able to produce drives. You can't have 3 and outs. You can't have consistently back-to-back 3 and outs. You got to be able to move the ball on the football field. You got to eat up some of this clock as well, because what you don't want to do is start putting your defense back on the field after they just got finished being on the field for long drives. So Mike McCarthy, he is, time of possession right now. The Niners are up 18 minutes to 11 minutes. It's not a good look. It's not a good look what they're putting out there as far as the play calling. That looks like there's no guys open. And, of course, we're watching the TV copy, so we can't fully see all what's going on kind of, down the field and from the back copy. But, the looks of it is that he has either he's not reading it right or guys aren't creating separation. Either way, the offense that they're implementing out there in the football field today is not working. There needs to be some major adjustments this halftime to come out to to see if this thing can pick up.
They pointed this out on the broadcast. The Oliver guy, he's been traveling with CD Lamb, and from what they've showed, he can't shake him. So
Right.
I don't know this kid, but he's doing a great job. But then we need to do some things where we're scheming him open. And unfortunately, the one time we seen Brandon Cooks kind of get loose downfield, the pressure came. We had to slide out the pocket. I feel like if we had a nice pocket there, we talked about this before we came on air, there might have been a shot. But again, we only can see it based off of what they're showing. But it just doesn't seem like there's anybody leaking down there. And at one time, they got a big play. They ran a motion, used the speed. And I just think they should continue to do that, man. Get some pre-snap motion going. Do what they're doing. Essentially on the other side of the ball is they're doing a whole lot of motion and they're getting guys in advantageous spots. For example, Debo Samuels. They have him in the backfield, motion him out. You get one-on-one with Debo against LVE. That's a win. You know, we're getting screens. Okay, the Cowboys are getting a little heat on Brock Purdy. What happens? Dump it off down to Christian McCaffrey. He gets 20 yards or 22 yards or whatever it is to get down into the red zone. You got to kind of find these easy buttons against this defense, man, because if you don't, the 49ers probably need one more score and this is a wrap. So that's why I think it's important for them to come out here. But they have to find an answer now. They can't really wait, I don't think, because the Niners, they're not on their heels. They don't have to do anything different than what they've been doing because you aren't scoring on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, and they don't feel pressure. I mean, we watched one half of football already, and this feels like the Niners have been in complete control from the word go, right? And it never felt at any point in time in this game that it was like, all right, you know, that now we got them. Even after the touchdown drive, it was like, okay, they came right back, you know, and so they have to find something that's sustainable, like coming out of the half right here, getting some points on the board, a touchdown on the board is necessary. But then from there, being able to get a stop. But we talked about it in the pregame show, man. With this offense for the Niners, with so many options, the Kittle option, the Debo option, the Juszczyk option, the Brandon Ayuk option. I mean, the options are endless. And the only way you're going to be able to stop them is if you can get pressure on Brock Purdy. And they've gotten it at times, but for the most part, that ball's coming out with rapid fire was so quick that they can't get to him.
Well, because they're in front of the sticks. They're in front of the sticks. You know, let me go see what they're doing over here because I know they have like roughly 81 yards on the ground. Might not sound like a lot, but I mean, you do that again, that's $160, right? Yeah. Averaging 4 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey is not really going off on you on the ground, but he's had a couple where he's hit the hole hard. Now we're in second and short. The kid, Jordan Mason, is averaging 5 yards a pop. He's running really hard, and they're staying in these kind of manageable situations. That's kind of what I would like to see the Cowboys do. On the other side, you're not going to be, and I came into this game saying this wasn't going to be a game Dak was throwing for 350 yards. You want to, if he can get 215, 220 for 2 touchdowns, he's efficient, not turn the ball over, but we're also balanced. That's how you're going to have to beat this team. You're not going to beat this team airing it out. You're damn sure not going to beat him running the ball 7 times and averaging, less than 4 yards per carry. You have to find a way to establish the ground game so you can keep that defense off the field, right? Methodically move down the field and then score some points. I think they got to come out here and they've got to matriculate down the field, Jesse. I think they do. I don't think because they're not going to get out here and score. This team doesn't allow you to score big plays. You're going to need like a 10-play drive that ends with 7 to get back in this game, I think.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think this team, they're not letting you get a 10-12 play drive.
That's what they do though. That's what they do on the season. They allow teams to do that. You just got to do it.
Yeah, I said this about 2 or 3 weeks ago for the Cowboys, and mainly that. And this is not a Dak Prescott dig, but it's a Dak Prescott criticism. There comes a point in time when you're a quarterback. And the reference I used was he gotta unloosen his tie, unbutton his shirt, and go ahead and become Superman. Like he just does. Like these are the games where I know you want to stay within your system. I know you want to stay, but at some point in time, you have to elevate yourself and your team and your game.
At some
and
point,
whatever that looks like, whatever it looks like. Right? Like I'm not trying to break this thing down and be all meticulous and whatever that looks like. It's you have to make the plays. You can't overthrow the ball. You gotta figure out a way to just unbutton the shirt, loosen up the tie, and become Superman. And it has to happen for your team to win this football game, because down 14 points to a team like this, I mean, tell me, do you think that they can? Do you think, for what you saw so far, that with a 14-point lead, that they have enough offensively and defensively to first stop the Niners and then score 21 unanswered points to take a lead and win a football game?
If your solution is for the quarterback to be Superman against this defense, you're going to lose, flat out.
Then what else can you do?
You're going to lose.
Then what else are you going to do?
I don't see any team in this league. Any team in this league
haven't been able to run the ball. They've historically said that you're not going to run the ball on them. 35 games, they haven't given up over a 70-yard rusher. Right. So if you don't get into your passing bag, there's no other. And then running the football, you're fighting against the clock.
You're not fighting against the clock right now. But there's a whole second half. You come out here and you score a touchdown. This is what you did on a touchdown drive. 11 plays, 78 yards, 5 minutes and 31 seconds. You go out here, you score on a very similar drive, right? And it's a 7-point game. Now I need my defense to stop giving them first downs on third down penalties and get the ball back, and we're talking about a ball game here. So there's no need to sit here and panic and go play hero ball coming out of this half. Not at all. I don't see any team in this league that, if your game plan after a quarter or two or just going into it is, I got to be Superman against that defense, and I'm going to play hero ball, I'm going to try to make plays all day, you're going to lose against that defense. You need to have a solid...
At the rate you're going right now, I think you're going to lose anyway.
I understand at the rate we're going. That's why I'm saying, coming out of the half, you need to put together a good drive. You need to matriculate down the field, hit guys here, maybe play quick game, get the run game going, play action. It needs to be a solid drive. It doesn't need to be a hero ball drive. You know why? That's fluke. If you go and play a hero ball and you go down there and score, if I'm the Niners, I ain't tripping. Because you can't do that consistently every drive against my defense. But if you are hitting these 10-play drives, which we've seen teams do against the Niners, we've seen the Cowboys do, that's something that wears on the defense. So that, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and you are going to have to be Superman at some point. But right now, coming out of this half, I think the Cowboys just need to get back into what they've done that's been successful and get some dang points. And right now, they're about to kick it off, Jesse. So we're going to see exactly how they do it. So make sure you guys come back and join us for the post-game show, and we'll see how we're feeling then.
I need Superman. Take off the shirt, unbutton the tie.